Today we're turning a whole bunch of VTubers into Dungeons & Dragons characters. We've got a whole smorgasbord of VTubers to try and work out, so if you enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment who you want to see next, as I'm putting a lot of your suggestions on a wheel to decide who I will make next. The rules for these are the same as always. We are looking for the species/race, the class and subclass, and the background. To make it even more tough, I am not allowing myself to use custom lineages to give myself a challenge. Anyway, let's start with our first VTuber. You know when I released the VShoujo and D&D video, and only a few weeks later a certain deer, or is it a moose, comes along and just barrels right in the middle of the road, making the video immediately inaccurate, and then this video gets delayed months and months, and a lot more changes happen. Anyway, I felt bad for leaving out the kick-ass Karibu, so let's start with our felled antlered folk. It's Haruka. This chaotic Canadian cult leader in lore is meant to be the opposite, a child of creation, to bring order, the seed of life, to helping the world grow around her. Though trapped against a tree in the Arctic, she astral projected herself across the world. She saw humanity keep moving forward throughout their achievements and their failings. Now, even though they are isolated in one place, they have reached out to so many to make them smile. I think there's only one D&D species that I would pick, and that's the satyr. Not only known for their antlers that they can use to ram, satyrs as a species have proficiency in performance and persuasion, and a magical resistance which fits the magical being like most Fae are. And to even reflect this Fae nature more, the Fae lost background would be perfect, even using the Feywild visitor aspect of this background to be in our deer form. When it came to trying to pick which class would fit Haruka best, immediately my first thought was druid. However, there's one that jumped straight to me right away, and that is the Oath of the Ancient Paladin. As Haruka made an oath to protect humanity, it would be perfect. These Green Knights fights against the cosmic darkness, preserve the light in the world, which fits quite well for what Haruka was created to do. And before we move on, I need to drop the script for a second and all the jokes to say to Haruka, even if they're not watching, but I just want to take a second and say thank you for all that you've done and for telling your story. It's one that hit me quite personally and reflects a lot of my own. I just can't really think of any words to kind of describe it, but thank you. Up next, we're going to blow off some steam and try a bit of a challenge with the 999 IQ news VTuber VShoujo. It's Henya. The escaped lab experiment may be short. They aren't short in brain cells. Listen, they may be lying about their intelligence, but we have to give them the benefit of a doubt here. That just might be them failing a dexterity check. Anyway, first, to push up the intelligence, I put Henya as an artificer. You see, artificers are known for being big-brained inventors, and we have seen how Henya is around the lab, how they tinker around the tools, and their 7th level ability of Flash of Genius fits this well. I was going to put them as a wizard, but artificer fits them best, and the spells they use would be much more about utility. If I had to pick a subclass, I would go for Battlesmith, just for the connection with Zentria. They aren't really a fighter, so having a large automaton muscle to fight for you works quite well. To help get that intelligence, I made Henya a human with the keen mind feat that allows you to track time, direction and detail with that uncanny precision. The keen mind feat is pretty useful for this smart VTuber, and they would fit amazingly as a sage, to go with the fact that they definitely did read that quantum physics book. Wait. What's this? A male VTuber? We're actually real? Please don't run away. I promise I'll talk about the female streamers again. Please don't. Oh. Anyway, let's talk about Aethelstan. What's Aethelstan's lore? Well, this is what they've said. Okay, and I quote. A man called Lord Traff betrayed Aethelstan and his father and betrayed them and killed them. Aethelstan went to hell for doing butt stuff, but was able to return to life after defeating Satan in a once in 500 years Tetris tournament. However, the curse left him immortal as a vampire who collects blood from the people he beats, and that was all just made up because he...
I just want to be sexy. I just want to be a sexy, cute little bastard.
This is the point I just want to say. Hi Mom, I hope you're not watching this video, but if you are, yeah, these are VTubers. Yeah, also, can I have a stir fry for dinner? Thank you. Anyway, let's cut through the aspect of the lore. As he is my lord, it makes sense giving him the noble background, alongside making him an Eldritch Knight. You could say the Pact of the Fiend is where the deal with the devil comes in, but you could argue that that's where the Eldritch part comes in. And because of that deal, he gets a taste of blood, so there's nothing more perfect than making him a Drampier, the D&D vampires and other red-coloured sucking menaces. I am legally forced to say this next VTuber's full name. Infernal Beelzebub Arcana, Cruel to the Apocalypse, the opposite divine, Prince of Suffering and Torment, Master of all sin, Conqueror of the Underworld and King of all demonkind. Also known as Bubi. This self-claimed ruler and tsundere used to be a fallen angel, but failed after rebellion and took over hell, apart from Limbo. And then he went to free Ironmouse from the prison at the cost of their own power. Ironmouse took them under the wing and he became—
Don't turn me into marketable plushies!
So, first up, I need to find the best class to fit Bubi. Bubi has a large amount of charisma and a giant cock. Yeah, it's a 1,000-foot rooster. So I was bouncing between Bard and Warlock, and then I realised Ironmouse technically gave them their power, so a Fiend Warlock would be the best fit. And there's the background code to Acolyte. And he is the Cruel to Apocalypse. I know it's a stretch, but being an Acolyte does work. Final part is the choice between Tiefling and Fallen Aasimar. I would go for Fallen Aasimar as he's a fallen angel. But I do have to ask, where has Bubi been? On an unrelated note, how about we talk about someone who hangs around with VTubers a lot that you could pretty much confuse him for being one. It's CDawgVA, voice actor, cosplayer, Creighton Game Master, boyfriend of Chris Broad and stripper. He really is the Welsh jack of all trades, and you could say he's quite the entertainer. Yeah, so his background is entertainer. Yeah. Jumping on to class, you could pick Bard because of his jack of all trades talent, but I have a counterpoint. Connor is a rogue. Not just any type of rogue, a mastermind rogue. This scheming subclass fits the chess strategist and it's all about deception, and the ability to mimic voices harkens back to his early days as he mimicked anime characters. One thing I know, he's not a level 20 rogue yet, is he's not got the stroke of luck ability, or things like this wouldn't happen.
Let's go! Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm stupid! I'm stupid! No!
For their species, you could put human with the actor feat, if you want to be lame because it's all about the monkey. From primate to trash panda, we've got Snuffy. Imagine one day you're walking through the woods and you find a hole in the ground with strange flowers surrounding it. And then you get shoved into it by the devil herself. Waking up in the underground with no talking flowers or kind goat mothers around, Snuffy found a large scythe and, with just a single touch, they became the guide of the dead. This is where we get our first issue of this video. There aren't really a D&D species that fit a raccoon. Could go tabaxi and call it a day, but I don't feel it fit as well, as a cat and a raccoon are two very different animals. I think. Don't quote me on that. It's time to break the homebrew rule and talk about IO's Publishing's Rackling Race. Lurking in the Feywonder, these curious folks always look to tell new tales and teach lessons to the next generations. Their method to achieve this may not be the most legal, but who needs legality when you're a Rackling? Quick note here, I did mention IO Publishing before in another video, but I want people to please go check them out on their Patreon. That is also where the Rackling is there for free, plus a whole lot of other goodies to check out. Back to the Trash Panda, as Snuffy is quite the isolated figure, the hermit background works well. But next we have the age-old question. How do we connect death and a raccoon without going all Guardians of the Galaxy? The sky really is beautiful and forever, huh? Anyway, none of the death-themed classes worked well for Snuffy, but there is one class that I could just summarise by just saying, pick up a weapon, now you have powers, and that is the Hexblade Warlock. Staying in the forest a little bit longer, we've got the reason why I had to buy an entire stock of large 500ml spray bottles, a jail cell and a bonking bat. It's another reason why I can't explain more about VTubing to my parents. It's Buffpup. Part human, part wolf, but never finding her place in either society. Solitude seemed to be our only friend, until a rabbit came along. Now the guardian of all the smaller creatures of the woods, Buff now had a family of their own. Quickly, we're going to pick up the Outlander background, as Outlander, not to be confused with the Scottish show, are those that thrive in the wilds and has survived more danger than most city folks can explain. Surviving to protect their newly formed clan. You could call them a shepherd, like the shepherd druid. No, that's lame to be honest. The perfect class for this randy rapscallion is the beast barbarian. Unlike other barbarians, these ferocious threats can use form of the beast to allow you to attack with a flurry of claws, maws, and taws. Later down the line, as you grow more stronger, you can take the power of your pact to improve your own, while empowering them at the same time. To represent the lycanthrope nature that Buff has, as their two main forms goes from either one side of the furry spectrum, the shifter is the exact option you want. Personally, I would remove the transformation aspect and have it you activate your abilities so you can present in your wolf form more. And that's how you make this freaky furry in D&D. And this is the hardest person I had to turn into a D&D character so far. Not in the sense of difficulty adapting this type of character into a D&D character, not all, but it's getting background footage that made me terrified of the amount of horny that comes from this VTuber. Let's end this video with the voice of the endless beyond, the siren of forever, the queen of the multiverse, Monarch. Every story, every tale has a villain, a darkness that takes up the grasp of the land, and every tale has a hero, a light to combat the darkness, a harmony that sings true throughout the universe. But what if that melody went awry? That key being off just by a single note is what happened to Monarch's original world, as it was overwhelmed by a great evil. Surviving, Monarch looked to prevent the other naive heroes from being burnt by their own flame, their own light. There was only one way to do this, to split themselves across the multiverse, to befriend these heroes, and if a day comes where the fire becomes too bright, they will be there to reset the balance and dim it. Oh, such amazing lore, right? Hopefully none of these worlds have computers, or Monarch would be absolutely useless. To start off with this grandmother of VTubers, I chose to make them an astral elf, to have that connection to the D&D equivalent of multiversal powers, the astral plane. You can get abilities like keen senses, astral trance, and starlight step, where you can magically teleport, and to represent the fact that they travelled from multiverse far away and lost their home, the background of Far Traveller fits perfectly. And now, we're going to try and work out which class fits well for this multiversal mummy. We know that Artificer won't work, as tech isn't Monarch's gift, and I don't see the Butterfly Queen being a physical fighter. This took out my first idea of being an Echo Knight, but one option did appear. One subclass about looking to the veils of space and time and manipulating fate. It's the supernatural superior, the Divination Wizard. Not only do you get a very, very cool ability with Protent that allows you to roll 2 dice and predict a roll in the future, but there's one thing that drew me to picking up the wizard, and it's the option to pick up a certain 7th level spell called Simulacrum. This spell lets you create an illusionary duplicate that remains until dispelled or destroyed. It can be an identical mirror to the caster, but there is one issue that only one can be summoned at a time. But it doesn't mean that a simulacrum can't just then cast a simulacrum. If you want something that actually lasts, the clone spell would be superior. But the snowy nature of the simulacrum really does fit Monarch's vibe. And with that, that's all for today's video. It has been a blast to make one of these, and if you want to see more, put those VTubers down in the comments and I will look through them and put them on the wheel. And please go share this video around, it is much appreciated. See you all next time, and boop!